And I think people are really important in a business. Doesn't matter what the business is, but people really matter. I'm very passionate about that, partly because of sort of the background and what I've done, but also, you know, in the last sort of 3 years, I've spent working with many organisations around performance management. How do you create a high performance culture within your business? And it's not easy. I'd say it's probably easier to sort of think about technology than it is about people. Great example of sort of the business operations side is Toyota. How did they become the #1 car company in the world? What was the great revolution that they brought to the manufacturing industry? Sorry?
Mass production.
Mass production? No, Ford did that probably. Toyota, that's where it started. Gave them a huge competitive advantage. Just about every manufacturing company in the world has probably picked up on Six Sigma in some way, shape or form. Boeing, there's an NHS trust that I've been doing some business with up in the northeast who has sent people out to Boeing in the United States to go and look at Six Sigma in operation within Boeing, because a hospital in America did something similar, and because of the results that hospital in America got, then this hospital in the northeast sent some people out to the hospital and also to Boeing to go and see Six Sigma in action. What's the other side of the equation then? And somebody over here mentioned it.
They created a mindset.
It's about people.
Yeah.
That's the other side of the fence. You can have the best strategy in the world, you can have sort of good business operations, but you need your people. And what certainly I find with business is that people put a lot of time and effort into measuring this, knowing what's going on here. This is far harder to measure. And so what do people do? They probably avoid it. Or businesses do, or they don't do it well. And certainly that's been my experience of sort of, you know, working with many businesses, from sort of FTSE 100s to medium-sized businesses. They find it alignment of people to strategy. They find that sort of difficult to achieve. You think in a small company it may be sort of fairly straightforward. In a bigger business it becomes more difficult. You think it should be straightforward. Well, why don't people know what the company's about? What we're meant to be doing? Well, they don't, because actually people don't communicate to them. They don't tell them in very straightforward terms what the business is doing. And then trying to measure the results of people and what they're doing. Once again, they find that very, very difficult. Companies have appraisal systems, performance management systems. You go into a big company and find out, you know, what percentage of those gets completed, what difference it's making to the organisation. There was a recent survey done, or a survey done at the end of last year by the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, which is the sort of HR type body within the UK. Only 20% of businesses thought that performance management was making a difference to their business, which is quite shocking, because probably most medium-sized and large organisations have some sort of performance management system. Why are they doing it? If it's not making a difference, you may as well forget it. But only 20% think it's making a difference to their business, which I find is shocking. I talked about Toyota here. Classic example of a company that did get this right and has got this right. I would say it's General Electric. It's second biggest company in the world. Market capitalisation of $188 billion. Who was the CEO famous for GE? Jack Welch. Yeah, somebody must have it somewhere. Jack Welch. What did he do around the people side? Sorry? Fire the bottom 10%. That's what he's known for firing the bottom 10%.
Improve the HR strategy of the business.
Sorry?
Improve the HR strategy of the business.
Improve the entire strategy of the business. I'm sort of thinking from the people side. As the gentleman said, firing the lowest 10% performers is what he's renowned for. However, that isn't how he achieved business success. That isn't why General Electric is the second biggest corporation in the world today, in my humble opinion, in my view. What he did do is make sure that people had very clear performance objectives, and he delivered very clear set of values to the organisation. And what he said was, if you don't live the values of the organisation, even if you're delivering results, I'm coming for you. Which is very profound, because a challenge for a lot of businesses is if you've got high-performing people who don't live the values of the business, who achieve the results in a way that you don't want them to achieve results, or that, you know, it might hack off the rest of the team, or, you know, cause problems at work, frictions with other people, etc. Then, you know, sort of what do you do? But what Jack Welch did, he put in place a very clear framework around performance objectives and also the values of the business, and made sure people were measured against those. So it wasn't just firing the bottom 10%, it was actually making sure that people lived the values. This is what we stand for as an organisation, this is what we believe in, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And the how is as important as the what. And that is why I think sort of General Electric has become successful, because people bought into the values. The employees within the organisation, they bought into those values. And as I say, if people were even if they were delivering results, but if they weren't living the values of the organisation, they were fired. Or, as he said, I'm coming for you. One down. Yeah. Why is this important about creating a sort of performance culture? I think the second point is interesting. The competitors can quickly copy a successful strategy. As I say, Toyota, probably all of Toyota's competitors are sort of, you know, Six Sigma, lean operations, just-in-time manufacturing, etc. They're all there, but they're still not the number one car company in the world. Although, you know, no aspiring to be, whatever. But the what they can't produce is a superior performance culture. So people can copy your strategy and copy your ideas, but actually the performance culture, if you can create a high performance culture within your organisation, that is extremely difficult for a competitor to copy. Just going to show you some statistics that sort of bear that out. The BASI portfolio is an investment fund in the US, and it's looking at results over a 5-year period. BASI only invested in businesses that it thought were making an investment in their people, a real investment in their people, in terms of developing their staff, moving them forward, creating that high-performing culture. And looking at it over they've done some research and testing in the period up to December 2002, and then they created this fund in December 2002, Portfolio A, where they said that we're only going to invest in these types of companies. And that outperformed the Standard & Poor 500, the sort of the equivalent of the FTSE 100, but the American stock market for large corporates. It outperformed it entirely across that 5-year period. And the only criteria that they were judging people on, it wasn't on technology, it wasn't on environmental factors or anything like that. It was just based around what level of investment they were putting into their people.